Woke up on the cold ground, no post, no passcode. When my face was green fire in my hands. No memory, no mirror, just the dark and the blade. Don't know what made me, but something got paid. They say every sinner's got a story to tell. Mine started somewhere between alive and hell. No grave to visit, no name on the stone. Just a Nazareth tea and these bones coming home. Could cry about it, but I lost the eyes for that. Could fight the dark, but I am the dark. In fact, so I straighten up, dust off, adjust the hood. Might as well do fucking with this. Might as well do good. He woke up dead and he laughed at the sky. Doesn't know the reason, doesn't know the why. Green fire burning where it so used to be. Call him Sinvicious, that's all he needs. Of a street, shadow cloak, trailing boots, heavy on concrete. Skull face, never flinching, never showing the cost of carrying purpose when everything else got lost. He cracks a joke before the blade leaves the sheath. Didn't catch a name, don't worry, neither did grief. This what the heroes won't get his hands in the rot. Not because it's clean work, because someone's gotta raise a body. No one tango without blood could walk away. Was the right thing never good, so he lights up green, steps into the fray. Doesn't remember dying, but he remembers today. He woke up dead and he laughed at the sky. Doesn't know the reason, doesn't know the why. Green fire burning where it so used to be. Call him Sinvicious, that's all he needs. No name, no grave, no shame, just the fire in the blade. No name, no grave, no shame. People ask what I am. I tell them I'm the answer to a question nobody wanted to ask. Then I walk away, 'cause that's what I do. Phone rings at 2 a.m. I don't sleep anyway, so black number, shaky voice. Somebody's world is ending, telling me this going like I'm some kind of heavenly sending. I'm leaning on the wall in the cold, picking at my teeth. Skull face gives nothing away, that's the beauty of grief. She says the underworld's got the bread that got her block, got everything she built, and now she's watching it rot. I let her talk, I don't interrupt, I don't console. Just light up green and listen, let the silence do its role. Could hang up, nobody would know. Could say wrong number, let it go. But something in the voice hits different in the dark, and Batman still can feel it somewhere in the part that used to be a chest, used to be a heartbeat. Now it's just a hollow thing that won't admit defeat. He says he doesn't care, but he's already moving. Says it's just a job, but his job's already set. Acts like it's nothing, like the night air isn't proven. That the ones who say they're empty, they ain't empty yet. I tell her, flat voice, no promises, no names, just an address, a time, and how this kind of thing goes. She asks if I'm an angel, I almost laugh out loud. Closest thing you get, but how would he say it proud? She asks if I'll be okay, I pause on that one longer than I should, and I mean to, then the score whatever shows. Something tugs at nothing where my memory used to be. Like maybe someone said that once a long time ago to make her brush it off. I move on fast, could let that feeling surface. Nah, never last, just adjust the hood, check the blade, step into the street. Another soul needs saving from the rock beneath their feet. He says he doesn't care, but he's already moving. Says it's just a job, but his jaw's already set. Action like it's nothing, like the night air isn't proven. That the ones who say they're empty, they ain't empty yet. Don't ask me why I answer, don't ask me why I go. feels like something I used to know. I didn't ask for the details. Didn't need them. A dress was enough. Always is. Alright. Sword check. Green fire, unfortunately, always check. Hood, obviously. Let's go ruin somebody's night. Lace the boots up tight, double knot, combat ready. Shoulder armor clicking in the place has already steady. Green flame flickering like it knows what's coming next. That the Jason energy rolling off my chest. Nazareth T underneath the dark. Yeah, the irony's not lost. Rock and roll and reaper vibes. Whatever worth the cost. Trick the blade still sharp, still dark, still reliable. The rest of me's debatable, but the still's undeniable. Step into the mirror, wait, I don't do that anymore. Skull face staring back was never really what the mirror's for. So I stepped into the dark instead. Let the shadows be my glass. Everything looks fine from here. Everything looks built to last. Green or black, moving through the night. Don't need a reason, don't need a lie. Green or black, the city doesn't know what's walking through its streets below. Green or black, this is what I am. Not a hero, not a monster, not a also ran just. Green or black, in the job to do, and whoever's in the way, that's on you. Cloak's doing that thing where it trails in the shadow. Very dramatic, very me, very whatever. The green fire's leaking from my knuckles like it's eager, like it knows the night ahead is something to remember. Pass a couple people on the street, they cross away fast. Can't blame them, skull face, glowing hands moving with purpose. Just a Tuesday, I tell nobody in particular. The dark just swallows it whole. Nothing new, nothing peculiar. Could walk this differently, could try to look less threatening, but the bones are what they are when the fire keeps on beckoning. So I lean into it, let the shadows do the talking. To something almost peaceful in this kind of night. Walking, green or black, moving through the night. Don't need a reason, don't need a night. Green or black, the city doesn't know what's walking through its streets below. Green or black, this is what I am. Not a hero, not a monster, not a also ran just. Green or black, and the job to do, and whoever's in the way, that's on you. Every city's got a shadow side. Every shadow's got something that lives inside. Tonight, it's something to me. I know they late. Address says 3 miles. I'll be there in 10. I don't take the bus. Let's see. Getting shot is not in the contract. Navigating someone else's bad decisions, also not in the contract. Caring about the outcome, definitely not in the contract. And yet, here we are. Nobody pays me for the walk through the back part of town. Nobody pays me for the 3 guys who try to shake me down. I let the green fire speak first. Conversation short, I'm missing out fast. People find somewhere else to be when it gets dark. Nobody pays me for the detour through the flooded underpass. Nobody pays me for the smell. Nobody pays me for the glass. Crunching in the boots at midnight like the city's keeping score. Or just add it to the list of what they don't pay me for. And I already know the way this kind of night tends to go. Simple job, cleaning, clean out. That's always how it starts before it falls apart. No doubt. They don't pay me for the chaos. They don't pay me for the mess. They don't pay me for the moment when the simple job becomes a test. They don't pay me for the sidebar. They don't pay me for already see coming. Nobody pays me for pretending that I'm not already running calculations in a school that doesn't technically think. 3 exits, 2 threats, one of them is closer than you'd think. Nobody pays me for the history of every scar I can't remember. Nobody pays me for the code that hits different in December. Wait, I don't feel cold, see that's the one perk of the deal. Everything else costs double, but at least the weather isn't real. And I know something's already wrong. A quiet's been too quiet for too long. Simple jobs don't come with this much dog. That's the smell of something bigger. That's the spot. They don't pay me for the chaos. They don't pay me for the mess. They don't pay me for the moment when the simple job becomes a test. They don't pay me for the sidewalk. They don't pay me for the pain. But I show up anyway because somebody's gotta be insane. You know what I've noticed? Every time someone says it should be quick, it's never quick. Every time someone says they won't be expecting you, they're expecting me. And every time I tell myself I don't care how it goes, I'm already calculating how to make sure she gets her brother back. Don't tell anyone I said bad. Nobody pays me for the moment that it all gets into place. Nobody pays me for the feeling when I picked up the bass. Nobody pays me for the fire coming up through my hands. Nobody pays me for the part where I stop making plans and just move. Okay, it's going sideways. Call it. Let's go. Different air down here. Like the city forgot to breathe. Like something's been feeding on it for a long time. Cross the line with the streetlights gave up trying. Where the walls are tagged with things that ain't just gang signs. Something older in the marking, something hungry in the stoner kind of neighborhood that swallow people whole and kept the bones. Green fire dims a little, even it knows to be careful. Even the darkness here is layers, even the rock has a smell. Roots on wet concrete, every echo comes back wrong. Like the street itself is listening, like the dark's been here too long. This is where the underworld does its breathing, where the deals get made below the deal, and where the surface city doesn't look and doesn't ask. Where something wears the city like a mask. Into the rot, into the dark, into the place where it all falls apart. Into the rocks, past the point of return, where the city's got secrets it never learned to unlearn. Into the rot, boots on the ground, the kind of silence that swallows all sound. Into the rock, green fire drawn blade. This is exactly the kind of mess I was afraid. Eyes in the window shapes that don't quite move right. Figures at the corners bleeding into the night. This is where the nameless one keeps court, keeps order, keeps a whole zip code, living just inside the border of fear. Not the loud kind, not the kind that screams. The quiet kind that gets into the walls and into dreams. I've walked through worse, I think. I don't remember clearly, but my hands know what to do, and they're already reading. Something here knows I'm coming. Something here's been running. Messages for channels I can't see, telling the dark that the dark sent me. Into the right, into the dark, into the place where it all falls apart. Into the right, past the point of return, where the city's got secrets it never learned to unlearn. Into the right, boots on the ground, the kind of science that swallows all sound. Into the right, green fire drawn blade. This is exactly the kind of mess I was afraid. Different air down here. The brother's in here somewhere. So is whatever took her. So is whatever's been running this block like a kingdom. I can feel it, like rot under floorboards, like something that's been waiting.
Doorway, green lights up before I even think to say hey. Blades already moving, I can't remember something I forgot. Well, from speech cut short,
welcome to the rot. First wave, always a first wave. There's some the ones they don't mind losing, which means they know I'm here. Which means it gets worse from here. Hood. You can tell a lot about somebody by how people act when you say their name. Down here, nobody says the name. They just go quiet. That kind of quiet tells you everything.
Just eyes that flick sideways in the real sudden interest in the floor, in the ceiling, and anywhere but me. Amazing how fast people find somewhere they need to be. Old man at the corner store, I show him what I'm looking for. Address a name, a face, he slides my change and locks the door. Woman hanging laundry at midnight doesn't miss a beat, just tilts her head left down the alley, down the street. Nobody says it out loud, nobody draws a crowd, but everybody here already knows which way the cold wind blows, which door you don't knock on twice, which then you don't say more than once.
Everybody knows the devil.
Everybody pays the price. Everybody knows the devil, but nobody says the name. Everybody feeds the fire, but nobody takes the blame. Everybody bows their head when the shadow passes through. Everybody knows the devil, now the devil's gonna know you too. Now the devil's gonna know you too. I find a guy who used to win these blocks back in the day. Retired, mean and scared enough to try to walk away. He looks at my skull face like it's the safer thing to see. Says whatever you are, at least you're not what's running this. Tells me half a story, stops himself before then. Says the nameless one collects some dust that nobody then runs the world like the kingdom runs all tight and fear. Been here longer than the buildings, longer than the years. Nobody fights it openly, nobody leaves completely, but everybody's got a price they paid. Everybody's gotta be, oh that was me. Which that you can outlive, which storm you can unsee.
Everybody knows the devil. Everybody's on the leash.
Everybody knows the devil, but nobody says the name. Everybody sees the fire, but nobody takes the blame. Everybody bows their head when the shadow passes through. Everybody knows the devil, now the devil's gonna know you too.
They say the nameless one was here before the crime, before the concrete, before the grime.
They say the nameless one doesn't want your soul. Souls are small, they want everything.
The block, the people, the fear itself. That's the currency. That's always been the currency.
And somewhere in the telly something flickers in my chest, in a hollow place that shouldn't feel anything at all. Like maybe I've heard this story, not this one, a different one, a different kingdom, different name. Same midnight protocol, I shake it off. I always do the past, it's just white noise, but the green fire flickers different and the blade feels heavier. Like it remembers something even if I don't. Like the rock down here is older than tonight. Nobody tame you willingly, nobody sneeze you freely, but somebody's gotta walk into the mouth. Somebody's gotta pull the darkness out, which fool ignore. things on inside. I can feel it. Like standing next to a grave that's already open. He knows I'm here. Good. I know he's here too. There's a room in this building. I wasn't supposed to find it. I wish I hadn't.
Second floor, wrong door, something pulled me toward it. Like the grain I knew before I did and didn't want to ignore it. Room full of things that shouldn't mean anything to me. Photographs, so one's people I don't recognize but almost see. Like looking through frosted glass at something just beyond the edge. Like standing at a memory's door and finding no ledge. My hands on the frame and the fire's gone dim. And for the first time tonight I don't know where to begin. Because what am I exactly? What's underneath the skull? What was there before the darkness, before the fire, before the cold? Something in this room is saying something in this room already knows. And the thing that scares me most about it is that part of me wants to be told. There's a fracture in the armor. There's a crack in the bone. There's a question in the silence that I've been leaving alone. There's a fracture in the Sunday that I know what I am. There's a thing behind the skull face that doesn't fit the plan. The underworld down here runs on collected souls, on people who got swallowed by the system in the halls. And something in the architecture of this place feels familiar. Not like I've been here, like I'm up here, like I'm similar to the thing that built these walls, to the thing that runs these halls. And that thought, it's harder than anything that crawls out of the dark tonight. Because I chose the other side, or I think I did. I think I can't be sure inside. What if the green fire isn't fighting? What if the green fire's just returning? What if the reason I can't remember is because what I was isn't worth learning? Oh, what the Antihero story? It's just the villain's origin told slow. What if I'm not the one who saves her? What if I'm part of what will let a brother go? There's a fracture in the armor. There's a crack in the bone. There's a question in the silence that I've been leaving alone. There's a fracture in the Sunday that I know what I am. There's a thing behind a skull face that doesn't fit the plan.
I stand in the room for too long. Long enough to feel something. Long enough to be afraid of the feeling. Long enough to wonder if the nameless one down here isn't my enemy, but my reflection. And I hear something down the hall. Movement. The brother has to be. I close the door. I don't look back. That's all I can do right now. Close the door.
Refocus, refrain, put the frame on the shelves. There's a job to do, ain't falling apart, doesn't help. The questions they always keep a lid, and not tonight. Right now there's someone in this building and he needs the light. So I straighten up just the hood, let the fire come back slow. Brains like went back to life, like it forgives me, I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe that's enough, maybe that's all I get. A fire that comes back the door, I haven't opened it.
I don't know what I am. I've always not known. But tonight it felt different. felt like the not knowing was protecting me from something.
Okay. Still here. Technically. Let something.
Some guy hit back there, not gonna lie, not gonna dwell. Rims would be cracked if I had ribs. Hard to tell, skull still intact. That one's low bearing, can't afford to lose it. Green fire took a dip, but it came back, can't refuse it. Club's got a new tier, boots are soaked in something. Let's call it rainwater and move on without discussing. 3 guys dropped me in a stairwell grave, I'll give them that. Brave and also currently not a problem, and that's that. Could slow down, probably should. Take a minute, yeah I would. The building's got more floors and move, whatever that was. And sitting still was never really something that I does. Do whatever grammar's hard when you're undead. Still breathing, barely, but barely counts. Still standing, shaky, but shaky mounds. Still green, still mean, still got the blade. Still got the job, still getting paid. Still breathing mostly, that's the bar. Still moving through whatever this is. Still here, still weird. Still got the scars that I don't remember getting. Still it is what it is. Let's take a quick assessment of the current situation. One, the building's big, go on the inside. That's a complication. 2, whatever's running. This has eyes on every floor. 3, I found a room I shouldn't have, and now I know more than I wanted to, that I'm ready for, then I can process right now. 4, the brother's somewhere up above, I can feel it somehow. 5, I'm talking to myself in the stairwell at 3 a.m. 6, this is completely normal, this is fine, let's go again. Could sit with what I found back there, let the fracture get some air. Could ask the questions that the room was asking me, could unpack all of that, or I could just and keep it moving therapeutically. Still breathing, barely, but barely counts. Still standing, shaky, but shaky mounds. Still green, still me, still got the blade. Still got the job, still getting paid. Still breathing mostly, that's the bar. Still moving through whatever this is. Still here, still weird. Still got the scars that I don't remember getting. Still it is what it is. There's a version of tonight where I didn't pick up the phone, where I let it ring, where I stayed wherever I was and minded my business. I don't know where that version of me is, but I'm glad he's not here, because somebody's brother is still up there, and apparently I much showed up. So crack, 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 crack the knee. Metaphorically doesn't really work. Shake the hands out, bring fire surging back with a smirk. Next floor a blade out, Polaris waiting fine. Had an existential crisis, said still I made it out alive. Well, you know what I mean. Still breathing, barely, but in my experience, barely is usually enough. Usually. Let's find out. You know what nobody talks about? The part after. Every time. The part after.
after.
There's a version of good that stays clean, stays bright, that saves the day from a distance and sleeps well at night. That gets the thanks, gets the statue, gets the story told right. That never had to choose between the wrong and the less wrong fate. I've seen that version, or I think I have, somewhere in the fog of everything. I can't remember every catalog. Action that my hands have taken that I can't walk back. Every gore I kicked and every line I crossed to keep the track.
Clean hands cost something.
Clean hands mean someone else gets theirs dirty.
Clean hands mean no work still happens.
Just some way you don't have to see it.
And I decided, or something decided,
that I'd rather know what I'm carrying than pretend the weight doesn't exist. Just because I'm not the one bearing it. The cost of clean hands is someone else's dirty ones. The cost of looking away is what happens in the dark. The cost of a hero's story is the parts they leave unsung. The cost of clean hands is carried in my heart.
whatever's left of it. Whatever's left of it.
I think about the people in this building tonight. The ones who served the nameless one, not out of faith but fright. The ones who grew up breathing rot like it was an air. Who never had a version of the world that felt fair. And I'm here to dismantle what they've known their whole lives. And some of them are gonna lose something when this thing dies. And that we build, they always do. But the in-between is real. And nobody's writing songs about the in-between they feel. So what am I exactly? The solution or another problem wearing different clothes? The fight that burns the rot out, or just the next thing that the neighborhood gets used to and then knows? I do the work because it needs doing. I take the hits because someone has to take them. But at 3 in the morning in the stairwell, I'm allowed to ask if any of it makes sense. That cost of clean hands is someone else's dirty ones. That cost of looking away is what happens in the dark. That cost of a hero's story is the parts they leave unsung. That cost of clean hands is carried in my heart.
Whatever's left of it. Whatever's left of it. I don't know who I was before. Maybe I was someone with clean hands. Maybe that's why I came back. Maybe the fire is the guilt. Maybe the ride I keep walking into is the one I'm trying to burn out of myself. Or maybe I'm just a dead guy with a sword who answered a phone call. Both can be true.
So I carry it, the weight, the questions, the cost. Every soul I couldn't save, every battle almost lost. Every moment in the room I shouldn't have been in. Every picture in the armor letting something out or in. I carry it because hitting it down means a land somewhere else. On someone who was never built to hold it, never had to shout. Space for this particular kind of dark, this particular kind of dead.
And I was built for something. I just haven't remembered what yet.
Clean hands.
Nice idea. Maybe in another life, I've got a job to finish. Top floor. Of course it's the top floor. Of course there's a throne. Of course.
Cathedral ceiling built from getting broken promises. Walls dynamics of the street below, of the ride beneath the ride. This is where the underworld keeps everything it's got. Souls in jars, metaphorically, maybe literally too. Hard to tell down here where the real bleeds into the true. And at the end of the hall, elevated, deliberate still. A throne built out of everything the nameless one could steal. Not gold, not jewels, not the usual display. Built from neighborhoods, from futures, from the price people pay. From the silence of the people who stopped asking why. From the weight of every deal made under a starless sky. This is power that doesn't need to announce itself. This is the kind of dog that sits and waits upon the shelf. And lets the ride do all the talking. Lets the fear do all the walking. Throne of nothing, built on everything. Throne of nothing, where the hollow kingdom sings. Throne of nothing, older than the street. Throne of nothing, and I'm standing at its feet. Throne of nothing, cold and absolute. Throne of nothing, silence at the root. Throne of nothing, I've seen worse, I think. Throne of nothing, let's bring the whole thing down. Count the exits, havoc, find exactly none that are clean. Count the shadows, more than shadows. Count the things between the visible and not, the present and the implied. The throne room of the nameless one is bigger on the inside than the building that contains it, than the city that contains the building, than the night that wraps around the whole thing like chains. I've walked into bad rooms before. Something in me has. This one's different. This one's been expecting me and that. See the flattering, I'm terrifying. Body boast, body fine. Reading fires, knowing something strange now. Pulling toward the throne like you recognizes the design. Like the rat that built this kingdom. And the fire burning in my hairs came from the same original darkness. And I thought I'm gonna need to not examine. Right now I'm just staring. Built on everything. Where the higher kingdom sings. Older than the street. And I'm standing at its feet. Cold and absolute. Silence at the root. I've seen worse, I think. Let's bring the whole thing down. The throne wind blows, I'm here. Not the gods, not the nameless one. The room itself, like walking into a mouth. Like the architecture was built around this moment. Around me specifically. And somewhere to the left, behind a door that shouldn't be there, I hear breathing. Human breathing. A brother, he's alive. And then the throne stops being empty. There's a presence in the room that didn't walk in through a door. There's a weight that fills the ceiling, fills the walls, fills the floor. No inches, no announcement, just a shift in the air. One moment, nothing on the throne. The next, something's there. I faced a lot of things tonight. None of them felt like this. None of them felt like you recognized. And then it spoke. It didn't yell. Didn't threaten. Didn't perform. It just spoke. Like it had all the time in the world. Because it does. Voice like the bottom of a well that nobody checks anymore. Like the sound of a city forgetting what it was before. Not loud, that's the thing, not loud at all. Just present like the code that gets sent to the wall. It knows my name, not the one I use, the other one. The one underneath the skull, the one before I came undone. And I don't flinch, I don't, but something in the fire does. Something in the green then goes quiet like it knows what this is. It says that she's been watching. Says I knew I'd come tonight. Say goodbye, I keep on walking into. Has always been a porch light. Said the fire in my hands wasn't given, it was returned. Says there's a depth between us older than anything I've learned. Nameless in the dark, on a throne of stolen years. Nameless with the voice that turns the fire into fear. Nameless and familiar in a way I can't explain. Nameless, and it knows me, and it's calling out my name. The name I can't remember, the name I lost somewhere. Nameless knows the answer, and it's hanging in the air. It offers me a deal, of course it does, they always do. Says the girl's brother goes free, says I walk out too. Says all I have to do is stop, just turn around. Just let the kingdom keep its kingdom, let the rock stay in the ground. It's something in me wants to laugh, but the laugh won't come, because it's not a stupid offer, and we both know where I'm from, or where it thinks I'm from, or where the fire thinks I'm from. And the silencing between us is the loudest thing I've become. It says I was this watch, said the darkness knows its own. Said the green fire isn't fighting, he's just trying to come home. Says the sun is in the curse, says the sword is in the gift. Says whatever made me, made it first. Nameless in the dark, on the throne of stolen years. Nameless with a voice that turns the fire into fear. Nameless and familiar in a way I can't explain. Nameless, and it knows me, it's calling out my name. The name I can't remember, the name I lost somewhere. Nameless knows the answer, and it's hanging in the air. It offers to tell me everything. Who I was, what I did, how I ended up like this. All of it, one conversation. All I have to do is walk away from the brother. And I stood there. I'm not gonna lie, I stood there longer than I should have. The questions I've been carrying all night, all the nights before this one, right there. And then I thought about a voice on the phone, 2 a.m., nowhere left to turn. I said no, but it cost me something to say it, but it really did. So I tell it flat, voice, no theater, no display. If the deal sounds good, and I almost wish I could say yes, take it, walk away, finally get the answers that I need. But some of these buckums is behind that door, and I made a guarantee. And I don't loud, I never do, but the kind you make inside, the kind that doesn't care about your questions or your kind. So I raise the blade, let the gleam fire fill the room, and I tell the name this one, you first. It smiled, I think. Hard to tell, with something that doesn't have a face. Neither do I, actually. We had that in common, right up until we didn't. No more talking. No more questions. No more standing still. This is the part I'm good at. Green and rough from both hands, like the building's getting baptized. Throne room fills with fire in the nameless one surprise. They'll perform surprise, hard to tell, doesn't matter, blaze already moving. 3 steps forward, faint left, the whole operation grooving. Like muscle memory that predates the muscle. Like the bones, no choreography beneath the hustle. Every guard that rushes in gets introduced to green. The most polite introductions this throne room's ever seen. This is what the fire's for. This is what the blade's been waiting for. This is every dark hallway and every wrong door. Paying off, cashing out, settling the score. No questions now, no fractures, no doubt. Just the green and the dark and the working it out. Just the rhythm of the fight, like I him in the bones. Just Sinvicious in the throne room, and he's not going home. Green fire gospel, preaching to the right. Green fire gospel, give giving everything he's got. Green fire gospel, burning through the throne. Green fire gospel, nobody fights alone. Green fire gospel, at the verse and blade. Green fire gospel, this is how he's made. Green fire gospel, the sermon starts now. Green fire gospel, let me show you how. The nameless one moves like a weather, like a system, like a front, like something that's been doing this since before the hunt. For whatever I am, whoever I was, whatever I cost, it moves like it's already won and already lost. And I move like I got nothing left to prove or protect, like the questions the miscarried one got burned off in the wreck of the open and exchange. Green on ancient dark, two things that shouldn't exist, trading scar for scar. This is what the idol chest explore, carrying the weight so it doesn't break the floor. This is what the skull face was designed to do. Look, the nameless thing to Ricky and not flinch from what's true. No heartbeat needs no panic, no blood means no fear, no memory means nothing to lose from me in here. Just the fire and the purpose and the voice on the phone and the brother behind the door who's coming home. Green fire gospel, preaching to the rock. Green fire gospel, giving everything he's got. Green fire gospel, burning through the throne. Green fire gospel, nobody fights alone. Green fire gospel, the verse and blade. Green fire gospel, this is how he's made. Green fire gospel, the sermon starts now. Green fire gospel, let me show you how. It finds a fracture. Of course it finds the fracture. The crack in the armor from the room, from the questions, from the offer. And it hits that exact spot, and something gives. I don't go down, but something goes out. Something in the fire, something I won't get back. And I think, briefly, maybe that was the answer. Maybe that was what I was. And then I stopped thinking, and I finished it. Everything the brain fires got, pour it all into the ending, into one making the rock. The phone cracks first, symbolic, sure, but I take it to nameless. One fractures at B, I just can't fake it. And for 1 second in the chaos, it looks almost small, like whatever it was before it fed off here and all. And power just a thing, just a dark thing, just alone. And now I bring the blade down and I bring it on. It's done. The throne home's quiet. The rock's already pulling back like a nose. I can feel the thing going out where it used to be. Like a tooth pulled plain. Like a roll of the furniture removed. The door to the left. A brother. Right. That's why I'm here. Why I'm here. Brother's safe. Called her from his phone. Heard her cry. Didn't stay on the line long, couldn't. Something about the sound of relief. It's different when you can't feel it yourself. But when you used to be able to, or when something that let you feel it just got burned out in the throne room. I don't know which one it is. That's the problem. I find a rooftop, find a cold air, find a quiet. Find a place where the green fire used to riot. Through my hands like it had somewhere to be. And now it's just a flicker, just a dim reminder of me. Or wherever I was before the throne room took its piece. Before the nameless one found the fracture in the crease. In the armor and pressed hard and something gave away. weight, something I was carrying since before tonight, before today. I don't know if it was hope, I don't know if it was faith, I don't know if it was something that was keeping me in place between the door that came from and the light I keep walking toward. I don't know what I lost tonight, but I can feel the space it caused. What I lost tonight I can't name. What I lost tonight wasn't mine to claim. What I lost tonight was something old, something borrowed from a life I wasn't told. What I lost tonight left a clean cut, the kind that doesn't bleed but never shuts. What I lost tonight I'll carry still in the hollow where it lived against my will, against my will. Maybe it was the version of me that still asked why, the part that stood in the room and almost let it reply, the part that wanted answers more than you wanted the job done, the part that hesitated at the offer from the nameless ones. Maybe losing it is fine, maybe it was weight, maybe traveling lighter through the dark is just my fate. A final loss on mutually exclusive things. Tonight I'm allowed to sit with what the silence brings. I think about the fracture, I think about the room, I think about the photograph, the faces in the gloom. I think about the offer, the name it almost said. I think about the thing that went out somewhere in the bread of the fight, of the fire, of the finishing blow. I think I burned the answer, so I never have to know. What I lost tonight I can't name. What I lost tonight wasn't mine to claim. What I lost tonight was something old, something borrowed from a life I wasn't told. What I lost tonight left a clean cut, the kind that doesn't bleed but never shuts. What I lost tonight I'll carry still in the hollow where it lived against my will, against my will. She said thank you on the phone, just thank you, like it was soup, like I just fixed something small. I don't know the last time someone said that to me. I don't know if anyone ever did, I don't know anything about before, but I know I heard that tonight. And whatever I lost, I think maybe I'd lose it again. For that, don't tell anyone I said that either. So I sat with it. Lost the cost, the clean cut space, the green fire barely there, just embers on my face, the snow staring out across the city that I'll never know. Whoa, whoa, the streets tonight was burned, we'll let things go. And I think, briefly, about the next phone call that comes, about the next desperate voice at 2 a.m. The next someone who has nowhere else to turn and needs the dirty work done. And I already know I'll answer. I already know I'll answer. I already know. I lost something tonight. I don't know what it was, but I know what I kept. That's enough. For now. That's enough. Okay. Sat with it long enough. Rooftops cold. Well, cold adjacent. You know what I mean? Time to move. Stand up slowly, let the embers find a level. Green fire at half strength, but still above the devil. Threshold of functional, which is all I ever need. Cloak still torn, blade still dark, boots still bleed. The city, someone else's city, coming back to life. 4 in the morning in the streets of finding the stride. Delivery trucks and early risers, and the first bird starting up in me. Walking through the middle of it, refilling my cup. Could call it a loss, some of it was. Could call it a win, some of it does. things for something like me. Still sin, still vicious, still remarkably free. Still sin, still vicious, still got the blade. Still walking through the wreckage that the long night made. Still green, still dark, still hollow in the chest. Still showing up regardless, still passing every test. Still sin, still vicious, still don't know my name. Still answering the phone call, still playing the game. Still here, still weird, still got things to do. Still sin, still vicious, still me, still true. Pass a drink and smell the coffee, can't drink it, don't have the throat. But I stand outside for a second just to let it coat. Whatever passes for my senses, now whatever's left. There's something almost peaceful in the small things. After death or after whatever this is, the taxonomy's unclear. But standing outside a diner at 4 in the morning, feeling near to something human, near to something that remembers warmth. It's its own kind of victory, its own peculiar form. And the questions are still there, they didn't go anywhere. The room, the photograph, the name hanging in the air. The thing I burned so I wouldn't have to know. The fracture that the name is one and foul and pressed below the surface of the armor. It's all still there, still waiting. Still the whole unfinished story underneath the narrating. But tonight I chose the brother over the answer. And I do what it damn and that tells me who I am. Still sin, still vicious, still got the blade. Still walking through the Rockies that the long night made. Still green, still dark, still hollow in the chest. Still showing up regardless, still passing every test. Still sin, still vicious, still don't know my name. Still answering the phone call, still playing the game. Still here, still weird, still got things to do. Still sin, still vicious, still me, still true. You know what the funny thing is? I feel lighter. But I'm the one out in that throne room. Maybe it was the part that was afraid. Maybe the fraction needed to happen. Maybe you can't carry the questions and the work at the same time. And I finally chose. Don't know if that's wisdom or damage. Probably both. Usually both. So I walk, not away from something, toward the next thing. Not running from the night, just letting the morning bring whatever it's gonna bring. Another call, another job, another desperate voice. Another world to rob of the people. And it's been feeding on the futures it's been needing. Another long night, another round of this particular meeting. Between the rod and the green fire and the blade and the skull. And whatever I am underneath all of it, still still full of something that answers when it's cold. Sun is coming up. Didn't die. Again. Sin. Vicious. See you next time. Dawn. First one I've watched in a while. Or maybe I watch everyone. Hard to tell when the nights all run together. This one felt different though. This one had weight. Woke up dead once, didn't know what that meant. Didn't know what the fire was, didn't know where I went. Between whatever I was and whatever I became. Didn't know the score, didn't know the blade, didn't know the name. That the nameless one was holding like a ransom in the dark. Didn't know a phone call at 2 a.m. could leave a mark on something that technically shouldn't be able to be marked. Didn't know a long night could illuminate the dark. But here's what a long night teaches. Here's what the rot and the fire in the throne room preaches. Here's what you learn when you burn the answer and choose to work over the truth and keep on dancing. In the space between the living and the dead, in the space between the questions and the dread, you find out what you're made of, what you keep. You find out what you're willing to burn and let someone else sleep. He woke up dead and he laughed at the sky. Still doesn't know the reason, still doesn't know the why. Green fire dimmer now, where all he needs.
Still Sinvicious, still all he needs. The city doesn't know who walked the streets last night. Doesn't know about the throne room or the green fire fight. Doesn't know a girl got her brother back before the dawn. Doesn't know what it costs, doesn't know what's gone. And that's fine, that's always been fine. That's the arrangement. The city stays oblivious and I stay adjacent to the parts of it that need the dirty work done quietly. And we maintain the distance in the city, breathe freely. And somewhere in an apartment, the girl is making coffee with her brother at the table, and she doesn't know her name, real or otherwise. And she never will, and that's more than okay. That's the whole point. That's the sermon. That's the gospel. That's the green fire gospel right there at a kitchen table at dawn. He woke up dead and he laughed at the sky. Still doesn't know the reason, still doesn't know the why. Green fire dimming now where his soul used to be. Still Sinvicious,
Still all he needs.
still Sinvicious, still all he needs.
I think about the road, the photographs, the name, the offer. I think about the fracture, about what went out in the throne room, about the thing I burned. And I think maybe the not knowing was the point. Maybe whenever I was before, needed to stay before. Maybe this, the skull, the fire, the blade, the long nights. Maybe this is the better version. The one that answers, the one that shows up, the one that chooses the brother every time. Maybe I didn't lose my memory. Maybe I was given a clean slate. Maybe that's the same thing. Maybe it doesn't matter. So I walk from destination, just the morning in the street, just the sound of the city finding its seat, just the green fire settling back to its usual dim, just a blade of rest, just the cloak, just the hem of traffic and birds and coffee shops opening doors, and me moving through the middle of it all like before, like every morning after every long night that I've had. However many there's a bad, however good, however bad, and the phone's already buzzing, already another number blocked, already another voice I pretend I could care about, already another lock on another door in another part of the ride, already another reason to keep going, already another long night starting before this one's even finished blowing. He woke up dead and he laughed in the sky. Still doesn't know the reason, still doesn't know the why. Green fire burning low where it's so used to be. Still Sinvicious, still exactly what he needs to be. Still Sinvicious, Still exactly what he means to me. Another call, block number 2 a.m. somewhere. I pick up, I always pick up. One long night, here we go again.